Well, good evening, Trekkies and Trekkers around the globe. It is Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Welcome to episode 658 of Trek Talking and Beyond. I'm your most excellent host, Uncle Jim. Welcome to the podcast. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Star Trek Con, the audio drama, the third episode entitled Do Your Worst. So we want to hang out and see what happens to Khan. I think you're going to be surprised. We also have our fan shout outs. That's where we thank fans just like you around the globe for listening to us and show you how much we really appreciate you guys. We also have our weekly Star Trek polls and why do Klingons always attack first? It never seems to work out too well for them. And Worf is Father of the Year. Yeah, I wonder what that could be about. We can also find out what actors you share a sci-fi birthday with on our sci-fi birthday section and what's going on around the Star Trek universe. In particular, we have a lot of Starfleet Academy updates, and we also have a Defiant dedication plaque. So without any further ado, David, roll the intro.
Continue with the operation. You may fire when ready.
Padme, Yoda's Kane, Anakin is gone insane. Logan 6, Corporal Hicks, the Gem had done, need a fix. Ripley, NPC, Daredevil, he cannot see. Bumblebee, K9, the Doctor, and Klingon wine. Old Bob Sandworm, stories that'll twist and turn. Baltar, Scimitar, Death of Tasha Yar. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Stormtroopers and Clone Wars, James Holden, Tweaky, John Koenig and Ziggy.
We talk about the series. You can join us live by picking up your phone now. We talk about the series. We're coming to you on your streaming services now. We talk about the series. Comics, books, and games. We go beyond the show now. We talk about the series. Come and join us as we sit and chat and we go on and on and on
All right, and here we are. I'd like to go around the room and introduce my awesome Flex Splits to you guys. We're going to start off in Virginia and say hello to V. Welcome to the show, V. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Yep.
All right, excellent. We also have Charles. Charles is out in Las Vegas. How you doing tonight, Charles?
I'm doing good, enjoying the outside studio today. Though I'm hopefully can get a little bit of light before the show ends because it gets a little dark in the evening now. But enjoying our fall weather finally.
Yeah, palm trees don't change color in the fall, do they?
No, just the
No.
dead leaves.
Yeah, just the dead leaves. And also, out in Portland, we have a very old miracle worker himself, David. How you doing tonight, David?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got lots of technical issues with this whole echo chamber. Apparently, it's just going all over the place.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And last but definitely not least, we have Eric, who's also out in war-ravaged Portland. How you doing tonight, Eric?
You know, Jim, I'm doing pretty good. I was just thinking to myself, it's a good thing that I'm not too inspired by recent Portland events because I may have been doing this podcast naked. You never know.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well,
That would be.
I was gonna say wearing a frog costume because I love
wearing
the
a frog
frogs
costume.
and the other.
You know what? I actually have a really good unicorn blow up costume that I may show up in one day.
That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Wasn't there a chicken there too?
The chicken guy was there
chickens, I
for
thought.
like the first month or so, but now it's just a party, man. You name a blow up animal or character, and they are partying down there when they're not getting arrested. So yeah.
I love it. I just love it. No. Anyways, as I said, guys, we're going to be talking about Khan tonight, episode 3, Do Your Worst. But before we get too far, you guys can head over to our Facebook page, Trek Talking and Beyond. And at the top of the page, you'll see a Live Long and Prosper pinned to the top. All you got to do is click on that and tell us where you're listening from. Leave lots of dancing emojis because that gets my attention. And if you see a heart next to your name from yours truly, then that means you are going to be featured in a future fan shout out. And you'll want to tune into the next show so you can hear your name immortalized for all of eternity. Unfortunately, we don't have Paul with us tonight, but I think we're going to try to get by. And we're going to have Eric dive right in and start us off with our fan shout outs. Take it away, Eric.
All right, our first fan shout out goes out this week to Taff Lewis. Taff Lewis is saying hello to us from Wales, just across the pond, although that is not actually where they are now. They started out there and now they're in Scotland. So thank you so much for listening from Scotland, Taff, and hail to both Scotland and Wales. Hope you're having a good time out there. Also saying hello this week to Astra Dia. Wow, that's a cool name. I can't tell if that's like ad Astra per Astra, but I love that name, Astra Dia. From Berlin, Germany. We have lots and lots of support for the podcast in Germany. And Astra, I hope that you have lots of Star Trek loving fans there. I know around me, it's hard to find them sometimes, but they're out there. Also saying hello this week to Christopher Brian Impey Jr. from Luton, Bedfordshire, England, over there in the UK. Lots of support for the podcast in the UK. Thanks, Christopher, for saying hey. And also just sending out our love to Monica Weaver this week, who's down in Sydney, Australia. Down under. Thank you for listening to our podcast and for interacting with us on our Facebook page. It makes us feel seen. Charles, who would you like to say hello to?
Oh, thank you, Eric. Let's start off with a welcome to Jay Brown from Indiana and gives a live long and prosper. Thank you, Jay. Welcome to Lindley Stanley Owen from Newport Beach, California. Oh, love the Newport Beach area. Heading towards California, that part of California soon myself in Anaheim. Welcome to George Aguilar from Texas. Not just Texas, but Texas. With an explanation in there. And Billy Grisak from Neha, Wisconsin, originally from New Jersey. If they like their explanation marks. V, who's on
And
your
just
list?
because I'll just say, Charles, just because I know people from Neenah, I just have to say Neenah, Wisconsin. And hello, Eric. Hope you're
Okay.
listening. My other friend, Eric.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, I've got a hello to Tom Casey, who is in Nebraska, USA. Then hello to Paul Pacific, which is a very cool name. I don't know if that's your actual name, but it should be. And Paul is in our neighbor to the north, Toronto, Canada. And I've got 3 emojis, the Canadian flag, the Vulcan salute, and a smiley face. Next, hello to Richard Garrison, who says, I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, but I live in Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County. And then last but certainly not least, I have Jamie Freeman Upton, Southeast Louisiana, 60 miles north of New Orleans. So thank you for watching our show. All right, Eric, on to you.
Yeah, I'm taking over for Paul this week, so I get all the hard names. We're saying hello this week as well to Kirsten Maywald, who's saying hello to us from Stuttgart in Germany. Once again, another German fan, and I see that live long and prosper hand, and I say peace and long life to you, Kirsten. Hope you're having a great time over there in Deutschland. Hello also to Alberto Verderamo, who's saying hello to us from Sao Paulo, Brazil, one of those amazing places that I have often said I would like to visit. Brazil looks like a pretty cool place, and Sao Paulo in particular looks like a lot of fun. Alberto, thank you for supporting us from there. Saying hello this week to Gunther Bolognese from Antwerp in Belgium. And I'm guessing that Belgian people say the W like a V, so if it's Antwerp, sorry, but it looks like Antwerp to me, probably because I speak a little German. Gunther, thank you for saying hello to us. And last but not least, on mine/Paul's list, I'd like to say hello this week to Sofia Nerovnia, who's saying hello to us from St. Petersburg in Russia. You know, the only reason I know exactly where St. Petersburg is because I have played a lot of Axis and Allies in my life, and I often like to play Russia. Defend, defend, defend. Thanks, Sophia, for saying hello to us. Jim, who do you want to say hi to?
I want to say hello and thank you to Shannon Williams, who says, I'm from New Jersey. Thank you, Shannon. I also want to say hello and thank you to Allie Reese, who's in Oregon, USA. I wonder if any of our Trek experts in Oregon know Allie Reese. I don't know. Maybe, maybe, maybe. We also
No,
want to
but it
say
sounds
hello and
like I
thank
have a
you
phone call to
to
make.
yeah, to Ted Rickles, who's in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania, USA. And last but definitely not least on my list, we want to say hello and thank you to Andy Farber from New York City, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. You can be mentioned in the future fan shout out by heading over to our Facebook page, Trek Talking and Beyond, clicking on the Live Long and Prosper, telling us where you're from. I also want to mention to you guys, we are currently live on Facebook. I figured out how to get it to work, but it's not going to our Trek Talking page. It's going to my personal page. So if you're following me, Jim Yeager, uh, Eric, Charles, V, David, you guys can go and see this live feed right now. I just checked my Facebook feed and it is there. It's going out live. Um, I'm got to figure out how to get it on our Trek Talking page. Some type of problem because Trek Talking isn't a personal page, and I don't know. Maybe David can figure it out. But at any rate, we are currently live on Facebook at Jim Yeager. So I just wanted to throw that out there because all these wonderful pictures that are going by right now from all these great fans, you guys will be able to see those if you go to the, and there's the first time I met Eric in person. Couple of years I never got to meet, and there we are at Ticonderoga with Tracy Lee Coco, and there we are again
First of all,
twice.
Jim, let me just remind. I just want to remind people that Tracy Lee Coco is one of the nicest human beings I have ever met in my entire life. Literally, the first time I ever saw her in that gym right there where you see that picture, she came up to me and gave me a hug. Never met her before, never, and she gave me a hug. It was amazing.
And we gave her a Trek Talking T-shirt.
Yes, we did.
I'd love to see her wearing that somewhere. But all these great there's me and Karen and Jamie with Freddy Krueger himself,
Okay, that's
Mr. Robert Englund.
okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, you guys, and not only that, if you send us your pictures, we'll put them right up there on the screen with all these awesome people. So we like to connect with the fans, so please do that. And we'd like to see your picture up there. So that wraps up our fan shout outs. And you know what time it is now? It's time for our Star Trek polls, which means this.
Poland. You know we like knowing what you thought about the show, and we try to share your opinions with all of our minions out there because they listen worldwide. So tell us just what you think, and together we will all drink Canar and Romulan ale tonight.
All right, guys. So every week I like to put some poll questions up on our Facebook page to see what you guys think about what's going on in the Star Trek universe. And you can go to, as I said, Trek Talking and Beyond, and you can find all of our polls. And we like to play a little clip just to refresh your memory if you haven't seen it in a while. So, David, you want to roll the tape for our first poll, please? So there's the clip. And Eric, what's the question?
Oh man, I love that scene so much.
too.
In in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the Klingons send 3 battle cruisers to attack V'ger. Do you agree with this course of action? And I'm proud to say that 100% of our responders said, absolutely, these are Klingons. There's no other way to react. And I completely agree.
I think they're Bolians.
That might be, it might be Bolin. And of course, everybody knows the captain of that Klingon ship, the Imperial cruiser Amar, is Mark Leonard,
Yep.
first actor in Star Trek history to play a Klingon Romulan and a Vulcan. So
And
he
the
gets
first
killed by
ridged-headed Klingon that we ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I
think these
love
are
that opening.
yeah. I think these are arcade Klingons because they're sitting there trying to play the arcade little torpedo game.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? That rotating chair and stuff. We never saw that again. Just in that first movie. So yeah, there
Oh, and for
wasn't much of
me,
a
it's just
debate
the
on that.
music on that one.
Oh yeah, the music was
Oh,
fantastic. And
yeah,
the little
yeah, Jerry Goldsmith. They got the ridge.
hmm yeah, we do not discuss it with
And it's all,
outsiders. Yeah.
yes, it's a family secret.
Yeah. Well, that was crazy because
So
the when I first saw that at the movie theater, and my mind was just blown because I was there by myself. And the scene where they're panning over the ship, and the way with that big screen, you felt like you were sort of moving over it. I remember that very clearly. And then I'm like, holy crap, what did they, Klingons changed quite a bit from when I saw them on TOS. And the music just absolutely fantastic, of course, and the sound effects, that
yeah,
clicking noise.
one of the best opening sequences I think in any movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yep.
All right, so that's our first poll. There wasn't much debate on that one. 100%, yes, these are Klingons, so there's not much debate for that particular poll. But the next one, I don't know. David, you want to roll the tape?
My parents, my human parents, will meet us at Starbase 73. They will care for you.
Why can't I stay with you?
You deserve a home, a family. They can provide that. I cannot. I miss her too.
Are you my father?
Yes. I am your father.
All right, guys, you saw the clip. I guess you have a pretty good idea what the question is, but Eric, what is the poll question?
I just want to say, join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Sorry.
They missed that opportunity.
Dark Wars.
Okay, so this of course this exactly. Okay, this scene is of course from the TNG episode Reunion, and this is just after Kalar, Worf's former lover and mother of Alexander, is killed. Worf sends his son to live on Earth with his adoptive human parents. Do you agree with his choice? And believe it or not, this is right down the middle, folks. Yes, a starship is no place for a child, got 50% of the votes. And no, he's not Father of the Year, got 50%
Uh,
of the votes.
I have
And
some definite feelings about this, but
oh yeah,
I'll wait my turn.
Oh,
no, I
same
can't wait to
here.
hear them, V, because I'm sure that they are much in line with what you will hear here. But like, yeah, I mean, the only thing that holds a candle to Worf's racism is his inability to actually be a good dad. So in this scene, he says, well, the thing that he says like, you deserve a family, and a starship is no place for this. And yet the Enterprise is full of 1,000 people, many of which are families, right? Like they literally
Yep.
purposely put families on the Enterprise D to make it not totally a military ship. So first of all, that argument is dumb. Second of all, this kid just lost his mom, and now you're going to force him to go live with grandparents he doesn't know?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense. Like, so this is one of the most shining examples of what a crappy dad Worf really is here. I hate this scene. It like hits me right here every time I watch it. I'm just like, how could you be so callous? How could you not? And he feels like he's doing the right
Yeah.
thing, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, he was raised by adopted parents, right? He should like know the trauma maybe associated with, I don't know. They were good adopted parents, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I just completely disagree with this decision. I think it was a terrible one.
Well, I think that if it was a different time, if it wasn't Berman era Star Trek, he might if this was Discovery, he would have been on the ship. But they didn't have room for an extra cast members and blah 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 blah. So he was gone. But yeah, Worf is definitely not Father of the Year. He blows every opportunity that he gets. And you know what? It gets worse on Deep Space Nine, Eric, because you would think he would have
Yeah,
learned.
exactly.
He sends the kid away to be raised by human parents, and then when Deep Space Nine comes along and he's hanging out with Martok and real Klingons, they want to beat the living crap out of the little bastard. What does
Yep.
Worf do? He steps in and intervenes, and Martok has to come and say, "Look, Worf, cut the shit.
Yeah.
Let the kid learn." And so Worf doesn't even know how to be a good Klingon father. Nevertheless, human father. He's just his heart's in the right place, but man, he just doesn't. He doesn't get it
Wow.
at all.
Well,
Nope.
So,
the writers must have, I don't know, they hated Worf or something to write him as such a jerk father. And I mean, I mean, the sad thing is he tries, but also the whole deal with Kalar springing this on him when it's not like Alexander is a baby. He's like, what? How old is he there? 4, 5, something like that. So, you know,
he's before the age of an inclusion, whatever that means.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so doesn't know. He just had, this one fling with Kalar earlier, and then she shows up and there's a kid, and that sort of throws him off. But if I can say, as having had to be a single mom and raising 3 kids, it's tough. I didn't have a starship with lots of people to help me, so I struggled on my own. I had a little bit of help, but not much. Um, so in the real world, I can from a real world standpoint, I can understand. Um, but yeah, like you were saying about they have other families on the ship, so that's a lame excuse.
Well, and yeah, and they had Counselor Troy. I
Hmm.
mean, everything Worf needed was on the ship. He just didn't
The
want him, I
holodeck.
guess.
I don't
The
know.
holodecks,
Yeah.
yep, Wesley Crusher.
I don't know what the deal
Charles,
was.
you
I
said
mean, they
you
didn't have to make him so, you know, callous and so crappy of a dad. They could have like redeemed him somehow, but just seems like every episode where you see Alexander, it's just one, he's just like one throat punch at his kid after another.
Well, and I love Worf. Worf's the man, and that's why I got into Star Trek. But not only is he a crappy father, he's a shitty brother too. Remember what he does to his brother Kern?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pretty much
When
the
he,
worst possible thing you can do to a Klingon.
yeah,
Yeah,
he gets thrown off the console. So he says, "Well, we're just going to wipe your memory, turn you into something else, and send you
so
off
bad.
to a blood farm
Don't even get
somewhere."
me started on that. Ugh.
Oh my God, Worf
Well,
just makes crappy decisions. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this
well,
just goes to show that you should never have an alien be raised by humans. They're going to turn out to be really weird.
I guess so.
well,
But Charles,
well.
you're
When I said
chomping
it,
at the bit there. Go ahead.
well, as I said in chat, I said I would have answered C. The fact is, I don't think Worf was ready to be a father. I think at that point, I don't think Worf was ready to have a kid around to take care of. Worf had his single life going on, and he wasn't ready to be having to take care of somebody else. I think he passed him on because he wasn't ready to sit there for fatherhood. Yes, Alexander needed the
I think
father, but Worf wasn't ready to be a father yet.
I think he would have been a good father had they given him a chance, but they didn't go in that direction.
Yeah. It,
He could have shared all of his Klingon honor and stories of Kalar and all the things that Worf went through, but they didn't want to go in that direction with the character, so
Yeah,
No,
they got rid of
I
him,
honestly,
Alexander.
I honestly think they should have just put Alexander kind of like in the background for like characters that you see walking around every once in a while, because they could have totally had done that with all the other kids they had in the background and other characters walking around. So he could have stayed on the ship. He could have just been part of the crew, but I don't know why they just decided to cut him off completely with the whole budget thing. So I don't know.
Just bad choice.
yep.
Bad choice. So I guess the first one was 100%, and this one was 50-50 down the middle. So it was a good balance, really good balance. So guys, we don't have with us tonight Paul, and two of these questions I made up specifically for Paul because I thought that they would be right up his alley. But we'll see how my Trek experts can do. So you know what time it is now, don't you?
And you know what that music means. It's once again time to put on your thinking caps and join us for Star Trek Trivia Time with Uncle Jim.
So as I said, I know Paul shares the same affinity that I do with classic sci-fi. So I always like to find something that I think will tickle Paul's fancy, but he's not here now. So I'm going to throw it out to my Trek experts here. So the first question is, in the classic sci-fi movie Logan's Run, 1976, by the way, if you guys are keeping score, that's before Star Wars. At what age do you visit Carousel and wish for renewal? I know David's on this one.
yeah, I know.
David's got this one. No,
Unfortunately, I
maybe
don't.
not.
I might
Eric,
have it. I, isn't
I
it
know I
30?
I
have
know I
it.
do.
Is it
no,
30 years
no.
old?
It's 30. When your
Yes.
when your
Okay.
hand starts to blink, Greg, you're done.
Mhm.
Boop, boop, boop.
It's the carousel, baby.
Yep.
And just as a little added sidebar, a lot of people don't realize that Farrah Fawcett was in Logan's Run. Briefly, but she was in it. She worked in the slice and dice shop where they gave you plastic surgery. That was Farrah Fawcett that was in that movie.
Yep.
All right,
I'm
so
ready. I'm ready for
we'll talk.
renewal. I'll take a little bit of renewal and plastic surgery. But I did find out originally, I guess there was a book or something. They changed it to 30 because the original age was 21 and they thought that was too young. And so they upped
Oh.
it to 30. So fun fact there.
Yeah, I read the book and it's completely different than the movie. In the movie they live underneath a dome. I'm not giving out any spoilers because this was 1976. So if you haven't seen it by now, all right. But they want to get out of the dome, and when they get out of the dome, they're on the outside, and outside is called sanctuary, and that was the gist of the movie. But in the original book, the domes were all over, and Sanctuary was on the moon, and they had to get to a spaceship that would take them to the moon, which was Sanctuary. They changed it quite a bit from the movie, but I like the movie version better because what are they going to get out, put on a spacesuit, and go to the moon? I think getting out of the dome works a lot better than going to space. But at any rate, um, so Eric, you get question number 2.
Cool.
So, um, Robert Englund is best known as Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Before he played Freddy, he played Willie in the cult classic
Oh,
sci-fi miniseries that runs by the name of what?
Mousy. It's called V, of course. Yes, I have many fond memories of watching V as a child because it was one of those science fiction things that was actually on primetime television. And there wasn't a lot of sci-fi on primetime television back then. There's a ton nowadays, but like back then, you couldn't watch sci-fi at 7:00 in the evening, and that was one that my parents let me watch. And I'll never forget Robert Englund as Willie. That line that he has the first time you see him eat a mouse, and he's like, "Mousy."
Yeah. Oh, I remember
It's
watching
great.
that and just going, ah. That was
That's so
And
good.
the high school band played Star Wars when John steps off the ship.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the scene that freaked me out is when what's her name?
sorry.
The evil
Diana.
leader of when Diana opens up her mouth and eats the gerbil.
Yeah.
That gave me nightmares
Ugh.
It's even
forever.
bigger.
And then
Yeah.
when they ripped off John's
They
face,
like
and you saw the
unhinged
lizard.
her jaw, and yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, from 1976 horror movie?
Well,
Well,
it
it
was a
was
TV series.
it was primetime TV, so it wasn't that gruesome. Like there was no blood,
But
but there was some mouse and
okay.
gerbil eating.
Yeah,
Another thing,
there
I
was.
recall
Actually, it wasn't.
there was a girl who it was a human girl. I think she had like a lizard baby hybrid, and that was really creepy. That
Yes.
whole thing. I remember. I think
Totally.
that
Yep.
scarred me for a little bit.
Or the first time we see John's face get ripped off, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. and,
David, we're not actually talking about 76. We're actually talking 84.
Yeah, 84.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
mid
I thought it
No,
was
80s.
they,
one way back then.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been 3 years old, and
Yeah.
parents weren't letting me
the
watch that.
original,
You would really be scarred watching that.
I know, totally.
Whew.
the original V was a 3-night miniseries, part 1, part 2, and part 3, and it was so popular that it came back the following year with V: The Final Battle, which was only 2 parts, which proved to be even more popular. Then they made V the miniseries. Avoid it. So yeah, don't even bother. But the original miniseries and V: The Final Battle are definitely worth a view if you haven't seen it. All right, V, we're gonna put you on the hot seat
Yeah.
here. This
Speaking
is
of V,
William
Yes, speaking
Shatner
of V.
territory here. All right, when William Shatner was writing and directing the best Star Trek movie ever, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier, he wrote the character of Saiba with what actor in mind?
It was the
And we talked to him about this on the phone.
This was the one and only Sean Connery, who couldn't.
Shakari.
Yeah. Well, hey, you stole what I was going to talk of. Just saying that Shakari was done, yeah, as a play on his name, Sean Connery, which I thought was really I always wondered where that came from, and then I found that it's like, oh, but he was busy. He was already involved in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So, but then
So I wonder
Mhm.
if he had done that movie, you think fans would have flocked to it and praised it as much as I do if Sean Connery had been Cyborg, or do you think fans still would have hated it?
That's a good
Fans
question.
still would have hated it. The writing's terrible.
Yeah. Oh. Ow. Ouch. Ouch.
I'm
ouch.
sorry. Did I use my inside voice?
See,
Yeah,
I
so-
thought your feed was
You
gonna
know
get
what?
cut out, Eric. I thought Jim was gonna.
Well,
we
here-
lost
No,
Eric.
it's
Sorry.
okay.
I feel like I do
Eric
need to.
Irwin.
So here's what I'll say. At Jim's behest, I have watched Star Trek V actually 2 or 3 times in more recent years, and it's way better now than I remember it being. So I don't know if it's the best, but like I can absolutely respect why people have an affinity for that movie, and I love that it's a small contingent of people that love it, and I love that you're on that train, Jim, because it's not nearly as bad as like Insurrection, right?
So I was looking at a on another Facebook page had a poll of all the movies, and from best to worst, and coming in at the worst was Section 31,
Oh,
followed by Star Trek Beyond, followed by Star Trek Insurrection, followed by Star Trek Into Darkness, followed by Star Trek Five. So
yeah.
Star Trek Five was the fifth worst movie according to the fans.
I mean,
But again, it's all personal preference.
Mhm.
I personally love the movie, but that's
Huh.
I'm an outliner. Anyways, so Charles, are you ready for a question?
Yes, I am.
All right. So speaking of William Shatner in the greatest Star Trek movie ever, he appeared in 2 episodes of the classic black and white Twilight Zone. Can you name one of those episodes?
Okay, well, he was in the episode Nick of Time back in
Yep,
1960. Of
that's
course,
right.
everybody else remembers Nightmare 20,000 Feet from 1963.
Yes, that's the one with the gremlin on the wing.
Yep.
So popular that they remade that in Twilight Zone the movie.
But Nick of
And
Time, he was playing with that one fortune telling machine. And he was trying to base what he and the girlfriend was going to do on what that machine would say. Like
yep, it was a
similar
little.
to similar like the 8 ball.
I think it was a little. It was a little red devil with pointed
Yes, it
ears. Kind
Yep.
of
was.
looked
Yep.
like Mr. Spock a little
Yep.
bit.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, David, I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. You ready
Uh-oh.
for some trivia?
Yep.
Uh, in 1979, Disney's first foray into science fiction was The Black Hole. Another movie that's awesome. Uh, who voiced Vincent, the robot Vincent?
um,
Any idea?
it was Roddy McDowell. Is
That's
that
right,
correct?
Roddy
Oh.
McDowell from Planet of the Apes. And I'm going to throw this one out there. It's not on the script, but maybe my Trek experts know. Do you guys know what Vincent stands for?
ooh,
um,
that's pretty good.
I was going to ask it as a trivia question. Paul would know it.
He would.
It's V.I.N.CENT.
I don't
Vital
remember.
information necessary centralized.
Oh.
Vincent.
Sent is
huh.
centralized.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. Cent is centralized. So that's what Vincent stands for. I was gonna ask David what it stood for, but I that was stretching it. So all right. So you ready, V?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Ricardo Montalban appeared in 2 of the Planet of the Apes films: Escape from the Planet of the Apes in 1971 and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes in 1972. What role did he play?
He.
I'll give you a hint. It wasn't in
Yeah.
it.
No. No. He was the kindly circus owner Armando, and it was the circus where Caesar was born. And I think that was played. I was just going to say we were talking about Roddy McDowell. Roddy McDowell was in Planet of the Apes also, but and he tries to do what he can to protect Caesar. So that's what he.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
because he's a talking ape.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All right. So Charles, I picked this one. I try to pick the question, so it doesn't matter. Are you ready, Charles? This one is just for you.
Yes.
In the 1988 synth pop band Information Society famously sampled Leonard Nimoy's voice in what hit song?
Information Society used several Star Trek samples in their music, most famously the phrase pure energy from Leonard Nimoy as Spock in the episode Errant Mercy. For their
That's right.
1988 hit song, What's on Your Mind? Parentheses, pure energy.
Fuel.
That's right. That's right.
Now,
All right.
when's the last
Aaron.
time anybody listened to that song? Oh yeah, I listened to it last week because I love me some 1980s synth pop.
I
I
actually
just heard
listened
it
to
on.
it
I just heard
yesterday to
it on the
recatch
radio.
the stories.
Well, my favorite synth pop band
Uh,
is the one that kind of started that whole genre, and that was the Human League. So there.
Oh yes.
uh,
Don't you
What
Eric,
want
about
me,
Bilbo?
Tell you what.
baby?
Oh,
who
Bill
else?
All
Oakey.
right.
Eric, who else did?
Yeah. I was gonna,
Eric, who else got sampled in that song in the beginning?
Oh, you're on mute.
Worf giving fatherly advice.
oh, God.
No, is it? It's
Oh,
not. It's not Vincent Price.
no, one of the Star Trek
Oh, is it
cast.
Ron? Oh, Star Trek. Oh, I don't remember. I that didn't
The
register
song
when I listened
opens.
to it.
The song opens with McCoy. You got a mini sample of that McCoy right there in the beginning.
Well, I didn't click
Yeah.
when I listened to it. All right, I have to listen to it again.
Well, here's something for you, Eric.
Okay.
In the 1968 Stanley Kubrick classic film 2001: A Space Odyssey,
My favorite.
what
Yes.
character does Gary Lockwood play, known to Star
Oh.
Trek fans as Gary Mitchell?
I got this one. This one I'm locked in. He plays Frank Poole, David Bowman's like co-pilot person on the Odyssey. And unless you've read the books, you wouldn't know that although Frank Poole dies, spoiler alert, by the way, dies in that movie,
No.
gets shot out the airlock with his hose, like,
Oh, that was
and then
horrifying.
David
Yeah.
Bowman goes to get him and then brings him back. But anyway, unless you have read the books, you wouldn't know that in the book 3001, which is the fourth book in that series, they actually bring Frank Poole back.
Wow.
Shh,
Cool.
don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
Okay, we're gonna need
spoil it,
subtitles. I
don't
did not hear a
tease it.
word you say.
All right, guys. My final trivia question, which I picked specifically for Paul, I'm going to throw out to the group here. In the 1972 cult favorite film Silent Running, what are the names of the 3 drone robots?
I know.
Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Nope. Nope.
He knows?
Huey, Dewey, and
Nope.
Louie.
I was
That's
gonna
right.
pick
Nephews.
DuckTales. Woo!
No.
I was gonna pick
It
the
was
Three
almost
Stooges
early.
names.
Well, see, I read this and I was thinking, you said Silent Running, and I was thinking of the movie Cool Runnings, and that just sort of confused me. So, anyway. Yep.
All
There we
right,
go.
so I hope you guys had fun with some trivia, non-Star Trek trivia. Although I couldn't resist the Star Trek 5 thing, but at any rate, so we don't have Paul with us. So Eric, you want to give us a quick synopsis of episode 3, and then we'll dive right in.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, today we are talking about episode 3 of the Star Trek Con podcast / audio drama entitled Do Your Worst. And in this episode, Khan is facing both hope and horror as new life begins and a deadly threat emerges. So like, much of this story so far, it's set on SETI Alpha 5. And the episode opens at the beginning with a glimmer of optimism. The colony celebrates its first pregnancy, which is something that we talked about last week. Of course, that being a symbol of renewal and survival. However, this joy is quickly overshadowed by a series of devastating losses among the colonists. many. In fact, 4 is what it is something like 3 or 4. The emotional weight intensifies as Khan grapples with the death of Joaquin, one of his most trusted followers, which triggers a deep sense of guilt and introspection. One of my favorite parts of the episode. Meanwhile, Dr. Lear continue in the future, so to speak, continues to listen to logs that reveal unsettling anomalies, small meteor strikes at the colony's shields. Ensign Tuvok explains that Captain Sulu had programmed the sound to mimic rain, or, rather lowered the shields enough that it sounded like rain, a soothing memory from Earth. But this detail contrasts sharply with the harsh reality of SETI Alpha 5, where rain hasn't fallen in years. And in fact, the log that she's listening to at the very beginning that Khan gives says it's been 15 years since SETI Alpha 5 has had rain. So now we're kind of dealing with 3 time periods. We've got the original story. We've got her listening to logs after Khan's been on SETI Alpha 5 for 15 years. And then we've got the future of her actually doing the listening. So a good portion of this episode consists of Khan's solo search for the artist Richter, my favorite character. Love of Sylvana. As the episode unfolds, a new planetary threat begins to surface, suggesting that the colony's survival is far from assured, as witnesses bear the state, as witnessed by the fact that, Khan finds Richter kind of in a weird headspace. Khan stays awake for 2 days, 2 solid days, doesn't sleep, as he tries to bring Richter back to camp, noting that he has a strange way of following Khan's every single order without question. Strange. The title "Do Your Worst" becomes a chilling invocation as Khan dares the universe to challenge him further. He defies it, even as the cost of his defiance grows heavier. The episode deepens the psychological and emotional stakes, showing Khan not just as a tyrant, which I think is my favorite part of the whole series so far, but as a man haunted by loss and driven by a desperate will to endure. So let's talk about it.
Excellent. So, V, would you like to get us started, get this whole train a roll, and you can be the engineer
I would
this week?
really like to. However, this week I've been confused all week at work and at home and everything. And so I listened to episode 4. So I have my notes on episode 4. I don't know why I thought I already listened to 3. I have. It's just been one of those weeks, where it's like, can we just like rewind and start all over again? So I apologize.
Well,
I got nothing
you'll be
other
ready
than
next week.
Khan has a sexy voice, and
I love it.
and all the
Oh.
it's so and well, I will say that it's just really, I don't know why it creeps me out when they call their augments. That's that they refer to them like that because they've been genetically altered. And also having this morning watched statistical improbabilities on DS9, where they have those people that were genetically, or they were altered, and they can't function in society, but of course Julian Bashir can. So anyway, but that's my rather rambling and confusing uh, statement. But next week, I've got my notes here for next week, so I'll be ready.
Excellent.
All
Oh
right. Well,
gosh.
that's cool. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
We'll jump over to David then. I know David enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this one was interesting. Again, I'm really enjoying the sound effects with the way that whole sequence when I think his name is Akeem that passed away, I think it was. That whole, I mean, I gotta give a thumbs up to the voice actors who actually played the role of these, because that really made me feel like I was in the middle of that entire thing. And it's just the whole idea of the way he died. It was just like, whew, that was pretty stressful in a way, but it was really good the way they played it out. So it was just it was pretty good for that part. And but yeah, I I really got to say that is this okay? So someone remind me, is this the first time we hear about the eels, the Shetty Five eels?
Well, in the last episode, I think it was Sylvana or maybe Ursula had something crawling up her leg. So it's not it's like the
Okay,
first time that we have kind of heard it named, but it's not the first time that
okay.
it's been in the story.
I see, I see. Okay, yeah, that whole sequence when they were trying to figure out like what's going on, it really reminded me of the scene from Alien. Like, they just had the giant thing on his face and they were trying to figure out how to get rid of it. But to me, this idea that they had no idea what this alien did and where it even went was interesting in my eyes to the point where it's just like, you know, trying to figure out something that you don't know what's going on is a mystery in itself. And of course, for people who watch Khan, yeah, we all know what happened. But for people who are first watching this, I'm kind of envious to the people who are going to first watch this who've never seen Khan because this is a very good mystery to see what happens. So spoiler alert, but but yeah, it's just I enjoyed it. It really was blood curdling to hear those screams of him dying. That to me was kind of hard to listen to, but it was really good acting. I really enjoyed it, and let's see, other parts that were pretty good. Uh the beginning where Tuvok comes in and the security the person who was playing the logs. I couldn't quite understand exactly why they went directly from the logs at the end of episode 2 straight to episode 3 where they kind of like cut to the person listening to the logs and talking to Tuvok, and I was a little confused. I was like, okay, it kind of took me out of the story a little bit, but other than that, it brought me back in when Khan was speaking, and you hear all the others that were just kind of like trying to figure out what was going on with the situation, and I don't know. I thought it was really good. I'm actually going to be giving. Oh, are we still giving scores, by the way, for episodes?
Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
yeah, I'm going to actually go a little higher with this one and go with a 9. I actually really enjoyed it.
All right, a 9 from David. How about you, Charles? What do you think? Swaying palm trees and all.
Sorry, since we're doing scores, I was putting David's score in. This was okay. I think what happened with David is they were kind of putting us back into perspective of the story, reminding us that they're reviewing these logs. But I thought it interesting that Marla, it's like after what happened, Khan says, okay, everybody needs to work in pairs, except Marla, because nobody trusts her. So she's stuck working still by herself. And yet, interesting when she's pulled into that one mission, which I think was more 2 than 3. But
Dang it.
wasn't this the one where Khan was bringing the artist back to the camp?
Yes.
Yes, Richter.
And I think it was interesting that we're getting these early teasers as Richter is hearing voices and he doesn't know where these voices are.
Yep.
Something scares him and he goes up a tree. And Khan literally has to order him to come down and walk. And he tries to walk and he can't walk because it's just difficult for them because he's injured himself. And I think it's interesting because we get teasers of, okay, there's blood around his ear. And was he injured when he was there? And it's like, well, I don't remember. He did fall from a tree and then contact. Wait, no, he had that blood before. And realizing, okay, how are we going to discover what this thing is? Well, we're going to have to open him up to do it. And I love the choice that Khan's like, let me deal with it. It's a bit of a tough scene to get through, but it's an interesting perspective on how Khan feels about his crew and how he wants to relate to them. But also shows you definitely how much influence Khan has to the colony, how much they're pushing and serious about worrying about him and praising him when he returns. So I agree with David and go with a 9 on this one. Definitely an improvement from episode 2.
All right. So how about when we already heard from V? How about you, Eric?
All right. Yeah. So let me see. So first of all, heartbroken about Richter. I loved him. I loved that there was this augment who is the artist. And now apparently he's got an eel wrapped around his brainstem. But I do love the fact that this is kind of like the development. I think it was David who said that's like the mystery, like the development of the mystery of what is this thing and what's causing it. And there's the scene where Richter has kind of a moment of lucidity and Khan is talking to him about what needs to be done for the greater good. And, Richter, of course, trusts him. And so that's what they're going to do. And so both a heartbreaking and kind of amazing example of Khan's leadership. And in fact, with regards to his leadership, he has another scene in this one where I think he's talking to MacGyver's and she talks about how he's like he says something like, I'm beholden to my people, or I'm they don't worship me, I'm like here for them kind of thing. And she's like, well, I thought it was the other way around. And he's like, well, that's the difference between a king and a leader. And I just loved that line. That was probably my favorite line in the whole thing. The difference between a king and a leader. A king is somebody who expects other people to do things for them. And a leader is somebody who does things for other people. So I just loved that scene. Thought it was great. But then, of course, we get the other side of Khan in this episode, too. We get the conqueror. We get the person who is so frustrated with the fact that he's lost, 3 or 4 members of his party at this point. And remember, there's not that many people to start with from the Botany Bay. So it's like slim pickings in terms of the amount of people that we're dealing with here. And he's lost 4 of them already. And he has these moments where he's like shouting to the sky, SETI Alpha 5, you won't beat me. You won't take me down. I will conquer you. Which I think is the Khan that we see when we get to Wrath of Khan, right? Now the title, I know this is retconning things a little bit, but like the title of that movie, Wrath of Khan, we're starting to see how wrath can develop in this guy. Like he's been put in some pretty crappy situations and he's got to find a way to lead his way out of it. And he's left with just a smattering of his fellow augments by the time we get to Star Trek 2. So I think this story is developing in a very nice way. I found like the Richter story, I felt went on for a little bit. I mean, you do get cool moments where like, yes, he climbs the tree, Khan orders him down, he jumps out of the tree and breaks his ankle, right? So that's because he's not thinking straight. He's like, Khan says, do this, and he like does it right away without ever thinking about what's going on. So while I kind of enjoyed that those clues to what was going on, we all know it's the SETI eel, right? But it felt like it went on for kind of a long time. I think the episode's something like 38 minutes or 37, 38 minutes long. And I felt like that was like a solid 25 to 30% of the episode. I wanted a little bit more of some of the other characters, maybe check in on the pregnant lady. How's that going? Couple other character moments here and there. I'll reiterate that I don't trust Ivan at all. In fact, MacGyver's in this one has like a time when she's talking to somebody else and she's like, if Khan doesn't come back from this thing of where he's going out and trying to find Riker, if he doesn't come back, Ivan is going, well, she doesn't even say he's going to kill me. She says, I don't know what he'll do to me, which in some ways is worse than he'll kill me, right? I don't know what he'll do to me.
Yeah.
So Ivan, bad guy, definitely being set up as the bad guy here. So yeah, is pretty good episode. I actually really enjoyed the first and second episodes, and I gave them pretty high scores. So I kind of feel like unless I want to rate every single episode a 9 and a 10, I need to bring this one down just a little bit. So I think I gave last week's like an 8. So I'm gonna go with a 7 on this one. But it's not because it was a bad episode. It's just because I really, really, really dug that first and second episode to start with. So I need to just calm down a little bit, and then we'll see what happens with episode 4.
So I got a question. In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, the eel comes out of Chekhov's ear and he survives.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We all know. So,
Yeah.
so why did all of Khan's people die from the eels? Why didn't they just crawl out? Was it ever explained why that particular eel crawled out of his ear? Is that what they all do, or
Actually,
I
I
was,
think I know.
confused by that.
Yeah, I think the eel went out of Chekhov's ear because Chekhov was stunned by a phaser, and so the eel
Yeah.
thought this body died, and it just wouldn't,
Mhm.
it just couldn't control the host anymore. So maybe that's why it just
Yeah.
felt like it had
I
no
think
purpose
that's
anymore.
that's what I thought, because I know that the other, I can't think of his name now, that kills him, or he kills himself because he's supposed to
The captain,
kill,
yeah.
and he just turns it on himself. But Chekhov, yeah, that's what I thought, because he's passed out. That's why that thing crawled out of his ear, which,
Yeah.
yeah, gross.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to talk and I just realized I was muted. I was trying to offer that it was Clark Terrell. I remember who shot himself.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I'm like, why aren't they reacting to this awesome piece of knowledge that I have? Oh,
He was also
because they can't hear me.
Darmok and Jalad at
He
Tanagra.
was. Yeah.
Shaka when the
Yeah.
walls fell. Yep. Mhm.
So this episode 3, wasn't this also the first mention of Ceti Alpha 6?
Was it
I
the
kept
first
thinking,
mention? I mean, it's definitely the first mention that there's a planetary instability with
yeah, and then
SETI
that they
Alpha
were
6.
planning on like traversing, I guess, somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my other question: how the hell are the eels getting into these people without them noticing? Because that in the Wrath of Khan, he's got to pull the thing out with forceps,
Mhm.
and that creature was a pretty big creature. That, well, we didn't see the whole creature, but
Mhm.
it made a pretty big hump in the sand when he grabbed it with the tongs and pulled out those little
Yeah.
ghillie bopper things and threw them in their helmets. So
The larva,
how is
yeah.
this giant thing sneaking up on people and shooting these spore things into their ears and they're not noticing?
Well,
Well,
yeah.
go ahead, me.
No,
I
was
mean,
gonna
those things are.
Yeah. I know. I don't. I was going to say something and it just went on my head. Well, because
Well, I mean, they
the
mentioned.
one,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the creature that Khan has in that container. I think that's the quote unquote, where it's the female, and the little whatever, the little slug things are like within the little I guess I don't know, within the joints of that, sort of scaly body, of the female. So they go in there when they're small and you can't tell, and then they go in and feed on the host, and then they grow.
I think we lost.
So, but how
lost
that
V.
happens, I don't
She's
know.
kind of frozen
'Cause
mid
I would
sentence
notice
on my
that
screen.
if something were
Yeah, I
crawling
mean,
in
I
my
think it
ear.
was in one of the first couple episodes of this podcast. They
All right.
mentioned something that was,
Come
I can't
on.
remember what they compared it to, but they definitely mentioned the adult version of it that they had seen that thing in the forest.
Not again.
And then
crud.
when there's the scene where if it's Sylvana or whoever has the thing crawling up her leg, that is the larva part of it. And so my
Maybe, yeah.
assumption is that like Richter's walking through the forest and that a larva like falls on his head from the tree or something like that, like gets into him somehow that way. I think in Wrath of Khan, we see Khan like forcing them out of the mother, right? He pulls it out with forceps. But I would bet you that if you were to like Google, I don't even know if there's like a life cycle of the SETI eel thing out there. I'm sure some fans come up with something, but like perhaps it's not unlike the xenomorph, which goes through many different stages. You've got like the adult SETI eel, and at some point the larva like leave the adult and like climb up into the trees or something. And because like really, you would think that these SETI eel larvae would have the ability to take over various life forms, right? Like one of these wild boars could get a SETI eel in its head, and like that's how the larva develops, and then all of a sudden the head explodes and the adult SETI eel comes out or something. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, I've been watching a lot of Alien Earth, so what can I say?
What I find
I
fascinating
thought that was
is how Khan was able to like control the people with these larvae. It's like somehow in Wrath of Khan, because he was literally like telling Chekhov and Clark to like shoot not Picard, Kirk. And I was just wondering, are we gonna get like an explanation later down in the series where he
Probably
finds
later
a
in
way to
the
control them?
in the podcast.
Yeah, you will
Probably
find
later
out
in the series.
You will find out in you'll find out more in episode 4.
Oh no!
As I found
Oh
out.
no!
I'm not
Spoiler
spoiling
alert!
anything. I'm not but you get of course you get more information each
Yeah.
episode. But yeah, maybe you'll find out.
Okay, that's cool. But yeah, I find it fascinating how he's able to control it in Wrath of Khan versus the not TV series, the audio. But yeah, I don't know. It's that whole scene where Eric was describing how they fell from the tree versus him being force plucked out of the mother. I thought it was interesting when you said that, Eric, because I just remembered the scene when Khan did that and the eels fell down. There was like a streak of blood coming from the eel on their face going toward the ear, and that made me wonder if it's like if you force it out of there, that's like a weird thing where it's like they're not fully grown yet, and so they just have to like survive somehow. And so maybe it's just a very small larva can't last very long. That's why it came out of Chekhov's ear.
Maybe it has like little tree climbing claws, and then when it goes across his face, it's actually like Chekhov getting scratched by the little larva.
Okay.
I'm feeling like this is like one of those Gorn shows, man. Let's come up with a whole life cycle for the SETI eel. I'm liking what we're talking about so far.
Oh boy. So anyways, I also thought it was pretty cool how the dude was able to take the remnants of Marla's communicator. I remember after Khan broke it, and make the scanner be able to scan into outer space. I'm like, whoa, dude! Like, what? Wow, that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, why didn't he do some crazy shit like that in Space Seed or something?
I mean,
but
it feels like these augments each have their own kind of thing that they're really good at, right? And he was like the engineering augment, and Richter was like the art augment, and like maybe somebody else is really good at like. I mean, Ivan's really good at hunting, right? He goes in there with his knife and has to kill the thing. So.
Oh man, I would hate to be the lazy augment.
I would love to be I can be lazier than anybody else.
But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I thought it was a little bit talky. And Khan wasn't in it as much as I would have liked Khan to be in it since it's named after him. But overall, I enjoyed it. Oh, the raining in space thing at the beginning when Dr. Pulaski, no, not Dr. Pulaski.
Let's
What's
see.
Lear.
what's the
Her name's
woman's name?
Lear.
Dr. Lear calls Tuvok and says, "Is it raining in space?" And we find out that Sulu likes to turn off the shields and listen to the micrometeors bouncing off the hull like rain. I thought that was neat. So yeah, I'm right there with Eric. I got to go to 7 on this one. It just felt not as exciting as the first two. So I'm going to go with a 7. And unfortunately, we don't have a fan score, so all we have are the Trek Spurs score. Did Paul give anybody a score?
No.
No.
No,
He
and
did
V
not.
didn't give a
I,
score.
well, just based on, just throw in
The
I
wrong
mean,
episode. So
I know, wrong episode.
How
Uh,
about Nate V? How's that
sure,
sound?
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say I'll give it an 8, just based on what I've heard from you all. Why not?
I love it.
all right,
That bounces out to an 8 anyway.
all right. So an 8 it is. That's not too shabby. We can deal with an 8, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So that wraps up our discussion on the con radio drama, episode 3. Do your worst. Although some of us jumped ahead to episode 4, but we'll forego that that little foobar for now. And
Oh.
now it's time for our Star Trek birthdays, which means the birthday song, if I can find it. There it is.
That was not a Klingon song.
No, and Grumpy Wharf says that every
Mhm.
single week.
Mm.
So we're gonna let he is Father of the Year, so
Oh,
we've
and
already
he didn't
decided
even,
no.
he, remember when he's trying to enroll Alexander in school and he doesn't even know his own kid's birthday? That was like that,
Yeah, well,
but you know.
Father of the Year,
Uh-huh.
Father of the Year.
Oh.
So this is the part of the show where we do our birthday section, and we always like to start off our birthdays by remembering those members of the family who are sadly no longer with us. And for that, we turn to Eric.
All right, Jim. We're going to start our remembrances this week with actor Janos Praska. Janos Praska was the Hungarian stuntman, actor, and animal imitator. He had several actually TOS appearances as monsters and aliens. He was brought in for the first pilot, The Cage, by assistant director Robert H. Justman, who had already worked with him on The Outer Limits. Justman was impressed by Praska's ability to imbue the monster costumes he wore with a magical sense of animation. So he appeared in TOS as the Mother Horda in Devil in the Dark, the Mugato, the way it's spelled versus the way it's said, in A Private Little War. And he also played Yarnak in The Savage Curtain. One interesting thing that I found about him was that in his scene with the humanoid bird, for which you can see there in our black and white picture from The Cage, he originally, that bird character was supposed to have a much more extended time on screen, but Praska's performance proved to be too weird for director Robert Butler, who recalls, "I remember there was some chicken, some killer fowl, being locked in some cell somewhere. And I'm talking to this stuntman. It's crazy. Me talking to this Janos Praska, who was Hungarian or something, saying, 'Janos, okay, that's good, baby. Now try this.' And there's this big chicken, this killer chicken or some other equivalent. I mean, it was nuts." I love that. Such a great quote.
That is. It's almost like they channeled that into Lower Decks with Dr. Miglimo. you know. I don't know.
100%. I totally agree with that. I mean, he may have been, inspired by
I
this
don't
weird
know.
chicken character. I don't know, but so funny.
I never even heard about that bird scene. That's new to me.
I
Yeah.
have to watch that. I don't remember.
It very briefly appears in
Ah.
the episode, like very briefly, but they were, as it says, they were originally going to extend that a little bit more. So anyway, Janos Praska would have had a birthday this week. He was born October 10th, 1919, and we lost him in 1974 when he was only 54 years old. So happy birthday to Janos Praska. Happy birthday as well to Paul Kent, the actor who played Beach in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And I know you're saying to yourself, who the heck is Beach? Well, in case you don't remember who Beach is, Commander Beach was on the USS Reliant. He was one of Captain Clark Terrell's bridge officers. So there you go. Kent also had several other TV movie credits, including The Alpha Caper, Pray for the Wildcats, Guilty or Innocent, The Sam Shepard Murder Case, and a few other ones. He also had guest appearances on television shows like The Mod Squad, Three's Company, Barney Miller, Falcon Crest, and Night Court, and appeared in a few films, such as Lifeguard, Perfect, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Interestingly, he appeared in the original Helter Skelter movie from 1976, and then also appeared in the remake back in 2004. So Paul Kent, aka Commander Beach, would have been born October 13th, 1930, and we lost him back in 2011 at the age of 80 years old. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday to Diane Thorne, the actress who played the first Ioshan girl that we see. Woman, it says girl on Memory Alpha, but clearly a woman. In TOS's second season episode, A Piece of the Action. Her most famous role is starring as the title character in Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS from 1975, and its many sequels, including Ilsa, Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks, Ilsa, the Tigress of Siberia, and Ilsa, the Wicked Warden from 1976, 1977, and again in 1977. Interestingly, Diane Thorne also appeared in a number of adult films, whose titles I am not going to share. Happy birthday to Diane Thorne, lost back in 2020 at 83 years old. Happy birthday as well to Sir Robert George Moore. Yes, the English actor, best known for his suave and witty demeanor. I mean, just look at that guy. He was known best for portraying two quintessential action heroes, Simon Templar in the television series The Saint from 1962 to 1969, and of course as Sean Connery's successor in that James Bond role in the phenomenally successful film series from 1973 to 1985. Roger Moore was also a UNICEF ambassador from 1991 on, so did a lot with his days. Some of these movies are pretty darn good. You should check them out.
Moonraker.
Moonraker's really good.
Moonraker.
I like The Spy Who Loved Me because I think Jaws is awesome. And of
Live
course,
and Let
and now
Die.
Live and Let Die, and I am blanking on the name of the actress, but the one he was with in A View to a Kill, who then, anyway. Sir Roger Moore, born October 14th, 1927. We lost him back in 2017. Happy birthday, Roger Moore. Happy birthday to Patricia McNulty, the actress who played Tina Lawton in the TOS first season episode Charlie X. Tina attended California State University Long Beach until 1962, when her brief acting career busted out. Acting career only spanned from 1961 to 1967. It started with her first appearance on the series My Three Sons, though, which you see in the graphic up here. Her first film role was in Tammy Tell Me True in 1961. She was cast in a variety of smaller roles in the 1960s and then took a long break from acting until she had one more acting credit 17 years later in the movie The House of God from 1984. Happy birthday to Patricia McNulty, lost back in 2023 at the age of 80 years old. And last but not least on our list, we've got a heavy hitter this week, folks. Happy birthday and lots of love and remembrances going out to Mark Leonard, the American actor best known for his role as Sarek in the TOS second season episode Journey to Babel. Also in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, and in the Next Generation third and fifth season episodes, Sarek and Unification 1. He also voiced the same role in Star Trek the Animated Series first season episode, Yesteryear, The Best One. Before being cast as Sarek, Leonard played the first major Romulan character we also saw, the Romulan commander, in the TOS first season episode Balance of Terror. So most people think he's the first Romulan we see, but technically not, because of course Lawrence Montaigne played Decius, and we actually see him first, but we can't tell he's Romulan because you can't see the pointy ears. Anyway, that's all water under the bridge. Leonard, I think, is the Romulan that everybody remembers from that episode. In fact, at one point, he was considered as a replacement for Spock had Leonard Nimoy decided not to come back for that second season of TOS. But thank goodness we got some continuity there. Also, interestingly, he was the first choice to portray Abraham Lincoln in the episode The Savage Curtain, but was unavailable due to a regular role on the series Here Come the Brides. He also, as Jim alluded earlier, became the first actor to play a Klingon with forehead ridges. That's right, the Klingon captain of the IKS Amar in the motion picture. He actually requested to reprise his role as Sarek in that film, but when his request was declined, he was offered the role of the Klingon captain instead. So they just didn't put Sarek in the movie. There you go. In 1991, Leonard appeared for the last time as Sarek in the Next Generation fifth season episode Unification 1, and unfortunately we lost him just 5 years later in 1996. So lots of love here for Mark Leonard and his various portrayals. I see some Planet of the Apes there. I see some other things in his IMDb page. So if you don't know who he is, well, you're probably not watching enough Star Trek. But if you're interested in things that he did outside of Star Trek, go check out his IMDb page. Happy birthday to Mark Leonard. And that does it for our remembrances this week, folks. So I'm going to pass this flaming birthday candle over to Charles.
Oh, thank you, Eric. But I want to jump back on Mark Leonard for a character I had forgotten he played. He played in Buck Rogers. He played that being who could actually remove its head. It's like, that was a spooky character, but that was a good character in that series. Okay, happy birthday, Bonita Frederici. Actress who played Rooney and later turned into the Borg drone in Enterprise's second season episode Regeneration. She is married to John Billingsley, Dr. Phlox. Happy birthday to Ben Vereen, actor, dancer, singer who played Commander Edward M. LaForge in TNG's seventh season episode Interface. His character was the father of Geordi LaForge, but has a lot of well-known work he's done prior and after. Happy birthday to Aisha Gonçalves, actress who played Javini in Star Trek Discovery's fourth season episode Choose to Live. Happy birthday to Renee Jones, actress who played Aquel Yaharni in TNG's sixth season episode Aquili.
No, Aquiel.
In Aquiel. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Kimberly Farr, actress who played Bricani Longar in Star Trek Next Generation first season episode Symbolus. And Paul. Oh, Paul's not here. Okay, V, who's on your list?
Yeah, and I'm hoping my
As I
internet.
pass the candle.
Yes, hoping my internet holds out because it's blanked out on me twice now. But anyway, Ito Agayere, born October 12th, 1988, Nigerian-Canadian actress who played Guinan in Picard second season episodes Watcher, Monsters, and Mercy. Next, Claudia Black, born October 11th, 1972, Australian actress and voice actor known for her portrayal of Arian Sun in Farscape, and one that I watched, During the pandemic, I got deeply into Stargate SG-1, and she played Vala Maldoran. Next, Hugh Michael Jackman, born October 12, 1968, best known as Logan/Wolverine in the X-Men and Deadpool and Wolverine.
And
Then,
you know, V,
hmm?
Hugh Jackman, you know what's special about him? He's a triple threat. He can
Mhm.
sing,
Oh,
he can
yes.
dance,
Yeah,
and
he
he
was
can
in,
act.
yes, he was in The Showman, I think is that movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really fun.
Next, so I've been practicing this name, Hironobu Kanagawa, born 13 October 1963, Japanese-born Canadian actor and playwright who played Dr. Hire in the 4th season of Star Trek Discovery. Then we have Lori Petty, also born in 1963. She played Nos in the Voyager 5th season episode Gravity, and she was also Tank Girl in the movie of the same name. Last, I have Todd Stashwick, born 16 October 1968. He played Talok in the Star Trek Enterprise 4th season episode Kir Shara and Captain Liam Shaw in the 3rd season of Star Trek Picard. Next, I pass the flaming candle on to Jim.
Why, thank you so much, Paul. I mean, V. Excellent. Well, I saved the Klingons for last. I only have one birthday this week, but he's a Klingon, so that's pretty cool. So we want to say happy birthday and send out a hearty kapla. There he is up there on the screen to Paul Rossellini, born October 15th, 1948, who played Brigadier Kurla in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. So kapla to Paul. I wanted to bounce back a little bit to Mark Leonard and share a quick little story. In 1991, I hosted my first Star Trek convention in upstate New York, ClinCon 91, and Mark Leonard was our guest. And I was nervous as hell. My wife and I went and picked him up at the airport, drove him to the hotel, brought him up to his room, sat down and chatted with him for a little bit. And he could tell I was nervous, and he reached across the table and mind melded me.
Oh,
Spock's father. And he said, everything will work out fine. He mind melded me, and I nearly fell out of that chair. I was like, oh my, this is the coolest moment of my life. Mark Leonard, Spock's father, mind melded me.
nice.
And he was the nicest, uh, kindest, most gentle person you'd ever want to talk to. He loved the fans dearly. He loved Star Trek. And he was just he was like your grandfather.
Mm.
He was just a really, really genuine, great guy, and he liked to tell jokes. He told a lot of jokes at the convention. He liked to eat celery, and in fact, if you look around for the Planet of the Apes, he played General Urko in the TV series, and you will find floating around on the internet somewhere General Urko munching on a stalk of celery because Mark Leonard loved his celery, and someone got a picture of Urko eating celery. Yeah.
Uh,
So
So,
Mark Leonard
Jem,
was a
when he
great
mind
guy.
melded with you, did you get some of his memories too?
Well, I remember eating celery,
Okay.
um,
More importantly,
but
Jim never washed his face again.
no, it's right here. But he really, and sadly enough, though, 1991 when we had him at the convention, if you guys remember what was going on in the world of Star Trek at that point in time, uh, yeah, Unification Part Two was dropping, and Sarek was killed off screen, and he wasn't aware of it. He did not know that
huh.
Sarek had died, and some wise ass fan at the convention
Aw.
brought it up to him and said, "Well, how do you feel now that they killed you off?" And he lost it. He was angry. He said, why would you say that? No, 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 no.
Aw.
Because they never told him.
I thought,
He
isn't
did
it?
not know.
Yeah, didn't Sarek have the Bondi, or I can't pronounce it, Bondi syndrome or something where
Syndrome.
he got
Yes,
emotional?
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
But he didn't die. He didn't
No.
die in that episode.
Yeah, yeah.
And
God.
they killed him off screen.
Yeah,
Picard
that's
gets
right.
the
Yeah.
message that he's dead, and
Mm.
Mark Leonard was pretty pissed that they didn't
Yeah.
even tell him that he was dead.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
That
my
is crappy.
Mark Leonard story. But
Wow.
I just had to tell you what kind of a guy he was. He was
Mm-hmm.
genuinely
Oh.
uh, very heartwarming kind of guy. Loved the fans, loved Star Trek. Just a great guy. So I just had to stop and take a moment to praise him and tell you guys that quick story about him mind melding me. It's like the highlight of my life.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so at any rate, I told you at the top of the show that we had a Starfleet Academy update. We had a lot to talk about in Starfleet Academy, which we do. But before we dive into our Star Trek news, New York City Comic Con, they dropped the full-length trailer for Starfleet Academy, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute after David rolls the tape for us so we can all enjoy it. David, you want to roll that tape?
Caleb. That's that one. Right there. Right there. One day, when we have our own ship, we are going to go visit Earth first. That's right. Bye-bye, Mommy! I love you! Mama? I'm so sorry.
You hold on to how much you hate me right now, kid. It'll keep you warm at night.
Find him! Part 3. Caleb, I've been looking for you every single day for the last 15 years. Come with me to Starfleet Academy. The Federation will help you find your mother.
That thing is taking us to the school?
That is the school.
Being a cadet in Starfleet Academy means being open to the people around you.
I understand. Sometimes I feel invisible, but mostly awkward.
Let's go! Show me you're worthy of this uniform!
I want to be captain. I need to be captain.
My family, you're either the center of the universe or you're nothing.
A warrior does not let a friend face danger alone.
I've spent my whole life getting away from stuff, letting someone in. It's hard.
If I lose control, I can hurt people.
Doesn't scare me.
I'll owe you something. It is coming with a big red bow just for you.
Is anybody listening?
Man, why does everything have to be a full-on lesson in this place?
Because it's a school, Caleb. It's time for you to stop telling the story. Be a part of it.
Like wow.
Wow, indeed.
So yeah, where to start? What to talk about? So Klingons, come on, people. So we're going to see a Klingon medic. He wants to be a medic, a science officer, and let's get this out of the way. So fans are tearing the show apart already.
Yeah,
We
they
haven't
are.
even seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
We have that trailer up on our Facebook page, and there's over 400 people that have commented on it. And the hatred that I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading for this show, and the closed-mindedness of
Yeah.
people that are supposed to be open-minded Star Trek fans blows my mind.
Yeah.
How you can hate something so vehemently that you haven't even seen yet. In my opinion, I think this show is going to be maybe one of the best Star Trek shows we're going to see because it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Trek has to be different, and it has to challenge us. It has to change our views and show us things from different perspectives. Otherwise, it becomes stale,
Mm-hmm.
and it
You're right.
just doesn't move anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
This show looks like it's going to be fresh. It's going to give us a view of Star Trek that we haven't seen before, and we're going to get to see what it's like to be at Starfleet and be a cadet. And taking it into context, this is the first cadet class from Starfleet since, well, before the burn, since for what, a long time, like hundreds of years. I don't. It's been a long time, anyways. So this is the opening of Starfleet Academy. This is the first class. How people can not think that's going to be exciting, and the fact that it takes place after Discovery, so it's even further into the future than Discovery. I'm not sure how far, but it's after Discovery, so it's in that time frame. They're back on Earth, which is really cool. Um, we have a holographic character, the first one. She's only 10 days old. We see her there talking with Picardo. People are calling her Mickey Mouse already. Just we see Tilly. Tilly's going to be there. We see Jet Reno, who's one of my favorite characters from Star Trek Discovery. So I just there's so much here to unwrap. I don't understand how fans can be hating on it so much. Uh, it just blows my mind. But it looks really, really good to me, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Klingons. People have been complaining that we haven't seen Klingons. Well, here we are, and they're still not happy. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Well,
and they can't say that he's a Discovery Klingon, and they hate the Discovery Klingons because he looks just like Bytha or Worf or any other Klingon. So yeah, so that's my take on it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. What about you, V?
well, with all the hatred, I have one thing to say to people. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't write crappy comments on the Facebook pages everywhere. I've seen so much of that. And you know what? In case you haven't noticed, the world, especially here in the US, we're going through stuff. We don't need any more nastiness. So just leave it, don't bring that on the bridge, as to quote James T. Kirk. Leave it in your quarters, because just go back and watch your favorite Star Trek shows, but don't dump on this. And also remember that Gene Roddenberry's son, also named Gene, he's still involved in all the Star Trek shows because he's carrying on his father's legacy. So, I don't know what to say because you've got heavy hitters in actors like Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti. They are both powerhouse actors who are Oscar winners. I saw Robert Picardo is in that, so he's the doctor, the EMH from Voyager. So just, I don't know why, I just don't understand. I don't understand all the hate when there's real stuff to be concerned with in the world. Try to make the world better. If you don't like the show, go watch Barney or something. Maybe that's more your speed. I don't know. But that's sorry,
Yeah,
I got a
and
little bit emotional there. I just got a little
no,
bit,
no,
but it's so
no.
unnecessary. We don't need that, Star Trek, remember infinite diversity and infinite combinations. The whole, the initial Gene Roddenberry's vision and all this hatred is just unnecessary. It really is. That's what I have to say. So just
At
don't.
least until we actually see the context and see the show
Yeah.
to make up your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
either watch it or don't.
and
If you hate it so much, then just scroll on by. Yeah.
we talked about it a little bit last week, but the Klingon Jem'Hadar female character,
Mhm.
Thok Throck, is that her name? I think Rock or something like that. Thorok.
I don't know.
Anyways, is getting so much hatred because Gemindars don't have females. They're addicted to drugs. We talked about this a little bit last week, but give it a chance
Mm-hmm.
and see where they're going with it and what they're doing before you hate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly
all.
right.
And if you don't like it, fans are like, we have a right to dislike what we want. Yeah, you do. Absolutely, you do. You don't like it. You don't like it. That's fine. I love Star Trek Five. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But it's all your opinion. But You don't have to come on the Facebook page and just like people. In the words of William Shatner, get a life, for God's
Right.
sakes.
Yep.
Only a TV show.
Or
If
just
you don't like it, you don't.
well,
You don't like it, just
yeah, it just
you know.
shows how much people have just gotten really just outright nasty online because they're little keyboard warriors, so they can be nasty because nobody can come and beat them up or shove them out an airlock, which some of them deserve. But yeah, just whatever happened to respect somebody's opinions. They like the show and you don't, but you don't have to be all ugly. Just try to respect, because I'm sure they love stuff that we don't. And just be kind, like we say, be kind to one another. We need more of that.
You know, a lot of them just can't do that. But
That's not
Eric, what did you think about the trailer? Are you looking forward to seeing it, or what's your
Oh heck
opinion?
yeah. No, I'm so excited about this. I'm gonna I let's talk a little bit more about some of the characters that we see and like what's in the trailer. So um you know, V mentioned Holly Hunter. I mean, she's an awesome actress. I love all of the scenes that we see her in here. The internet says that she's half Lanthanite, so she's got maybe a connection to Pelia. I don't know, maybe not, but there's that kind of neat little connection with some of the things that we're seeing in Strange New Worlds right now. And whoever this Caleb character is, I mean, I love that we see like childhood trauma that then carries forward and he gets to kind of like grow from that experience. I mean, that looks really, really cool and interesting. Um, Jim mentioned the Klingon character who I literally got goosebumps when he's like shooting the arrow and the things that he's saying in the trailer. It just seemed very Klingon-y to me, but yet he's got those blue eyes, so you could tell that he's not 100% Klingon. I don't know any other Klingons with the blue eyes. You got the Jem'Hadar character. Looks like from the trailer, like maybe she's an instructor, maybe in some sort of combat, which seems very appropriate to her character and her race. Um, I didn't realize until I did a little research after I first saw this trailer that the one character, Sam, is her name. Her name's not Mickey Mouse, and that's just stupid to say that. But Sam is a Koskian who is a race of hologram people. Are you kidding me? Like, so Robert Picardo, you know how he's got the whole thing where he like wants to inspire other holographic writers to like write about being hologram. So apparently he's inspired an entire culture, maybe? I don't know. I'm really fascinated to find out what that's all about. Just amazing. um, of course, you got returning of some of the characters. You got Robert Picardo. We see Mary Wiseman there. So I know she's just kind of a guest star and she's not really in the show, but, we get to see her again, which I think is really cool. But the one that surprised me, which we don't see in the trailer, but apparently we know this because it's on the internet, so it must be true. We've got Stephen Colbert as the voice of Starfleet Academy's digital dean of students, who gives daily announcements and important alerts to cadets. Are you kidding me? I love it.
Awesome.
It's just
And of
so
course,
cool.
there's hateful comments about that, and it's like people need to get.
Well, I don't even want to we've given enough airtime to the hateful
Exactly.
comments. I don't even want to talk about those.
But
I'm very
Steven is
excited about
awesome.
it.
He's awesome.
He's awesome, and I just think
hilarious.
he's gonna kill that role, right?
Yes,
And it's probably gonna be done with like witty banter and all that kind of stuff, which of course he's perfect at. So I'm ridiculously excited about. I'm more excited about this show than I was about Strange New Worlds before it came out, and I think it's because not only is it kind of the sequel to Star Trek Discovery, which I loved the fact that they jumped ahead to that 32nd century and kind of gave us all new Star Trek with all new ships and like things that we hadn't seen before. But now it's like the rebuilding of a society. It's like the story where Starfleet is not the number one heavy hitter in the galaxy right now, right? And they're just kind of like trying to build back up. And relying on their core principles and instilling those values into the people that they bring into the academy. So I'm just like, I think it's gonna be great. I agree with Jim. I think it's probably going to be one of the best Star Trek shows we've seen in a long time, and I can't wait to see it. Yeah, January.
And
It's not
Eric,
even that long of a wait.
Yeah.
January 15th, there'll be 2 episodes that are going to premiere. I don't like it when they do that, but they are. And something else that people have to bear in mind, if you guys remember when we saw Tilly with her cadets, since these are the first cadets and we had the burn, there's a lot of prejudice. They're not all getting along like one big happy family here. They don't like each other. What was his name? The Tellarite and the her other cadet there, they hated each other. So it's not like Star Trek that we're used to seeing like on DS9 where they're all, hopping and skipping and holding hands down the promenade. They're coming together for the first time and they're not all going to get along. So there's going to be some conflict there, which we aren't used to seeing on Star Trek. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, and you know who else we get to see again, Jim? The Silver Fox himself, Oded Fair,
Yep.
is going to be on this show. So I love every single second that man's on the screen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How about you, David?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There was some things that I thought was kind of interesting about this particular segment of how they are approaching with the Starfleet Academy, and I thought, as I had mentioned before in the chat, was that I thought it was kind of like geared toward teens of our generation, and I just kind of want to add on to that because Star Trek has a unique way to actually just put on different series for every age group, from down to the little kids all the way up to the adults that are used to the whole TOS series. So to me, I thought it was an interesting approach how they're kind of like going in that direction, and to the point where I mentioned that I hope that the story or the series will actually have a really good story, because it really all depends on how the writers do and the directing and everything. So I'm optimistic about this, and I'm hoping it does good, and I really hope that it really does good, because I'm really curious, and I've said this before, I'm really interested in that Jem'Hadar female character, because I really want to see what her story is behind why they made her the way that they made her. And so I'm curious, and I'm hoping that they do a good job. But like I said, I'm hopefully optimistic. So we'll see what happens.
If I remember correctly, David, I believe she's the first officer of the Ares, which is the Starfleet Command starship. Holly Hunter's the captain, and she's the XO, if I remember
I think it's the Athena,
correctly.
not the Ares, though, right?
Or the Athena, right? I'm thinking about Tron, which I saw over the weekend, which was great, by the way. So, yeah, she's the first officer on the starship, and so that'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
and like what Eric said, it looks like she's also the director of like leading the young cadets into the United Federation. So we'll see.
From the trailer, it looked like she was might have been the combat trainer or the
Yeah.
security training or something, because they were shooting and fighting in that particular scene. So I think she's got something to do with that. And
Also,
Charles,
wait, I just wanted to add one thing really
oh,
quick.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
That whole battle sequence, where the ships were fighting and everything, I actually stopped it on a interesting scene, and I thought it was interesting that they look like they're showing Dominion ships in that particular trailer, and I was thinking, is this going to be like another Dominion story that they're kind of leaning toward? So I don't know. Kind of an interesting
Yeah, I
thought.
don't know. I mean, it's so far in the future from the DS9 Dominion Wars, but they could still have some ships kicking around. They had Romulan ships on Picard, so anything's
Yeah.
possible. Go ahead, Charles.
Well, okay. I did a quick look up, and I think the burn was somewhere over 120 years. That was a long time for all these planets to be separated. So they've got to get their own reunification going and try to reunificate. I love the fact that Eric jumped in on mine saying Culber was joining in. It's like, okay, we got somebody. It's like, okay, hey, I may be losing my job, but I'm still out there acting. I'm still going to be out there and getting involved and jump into Star Trek. And a lot of people are saying, oh, bah humbug. And it's like, okay, you can't sit there and tie this. Oh, this is what happened in DS9. It's like, yes, we're in the 32nd century. We're centuries past that history. What's the new history? What's been going on? We learned a little bit from Discovery, just a little. We got a whole world we can now discover and get new stories from. Still disappointed that Mary Wiseman's not going to be a big character in it, but I like the idea. It's like, okay, we're losing some of the old characters, and let's get new characters. Let's get new people in there. We'll get a dash of classic characters or classics we've seen before, and get more new characters. Let's see what's out there. What kind of society, what kind of groups we have, what kind of cultures we have out there. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's interesting that I saw somebody on a Star Trek club last night, and he was talking about, oh, the show's been canceled and all the issues, and it's like, no, yeah, we're going to cut that. You're probably just watching the wrong groups to talk about it. It's like it's been canceled. No, actually, it's been already extended, and they're soon to be doing season 2. This show's not over. The show just starting. It's going to get at least 2 seasons, probably more. And on this
I
opening
agree.
story, it's like okay, we're getting a hook in here already. What happened to this kid's mom? What's this kid gone through in 10 or so years? Why is mom so important? It's like, okay, you've already grabbed me and said, okay, you got a story going. I want to know what this story's about. What's special about this person? Okay, we're ready then. Let's
Yeah,
do it. Let's see what they're doing.
and you know what, Charles? I really want to see Tilly go to Starfleet and visit the Boothby tree. Uh, remember when?
Yeah.
Because remember they haven't been on Earth in well over 100 years, and now they're back, and we do see San Francisco in the background. So I'd love to see Tilly go and visit the Boothby tree.
Discovery they did.
What she did
Discovery
in Discovery.
Discovery they did go visit the tree. That's well over
So
thousands of years old. But hopefully, yeah, that probably will bring that one back in too.
and maybe Boothby is still hanging out there. Maybe he's a Lanthanite, you know. But I think Eric is right though. I think they didn't come up with the character Lanthanite for no reason, and I think that there might be a connection between her and Pelia. You know, there were her cousin's sister's mother's brother's neighbor was her roommate or something like that.
Let's see if she was a roadie for the dead, and has one of
Yep.
those Kit Kat clocks.
Or it could have been the Choo Choo Girls from Lower Decks, the Choo 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 Girls or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see where they take
it's
that.
just all sorts of possibilities, and that's what Star Trek is about.
Yeah, there's so much that they could explore, so many things they could do, so many different things they could show us that we haven't seen before. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be good.
Yep.
Really, really good. I'm really excited for it. See where they're going to go. See what the Klingons have been up to. We haven't seen the Klingons in God a long time. I don't even remember how long it's been since we've seen.
It feels like
Klingons.
930 years, Jim. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe maybe the Discovery Klingons are still kicking around out there. Maybe we'll see Baitha. You know, the zombie Baitha show up. But at any rate, I'm going to give this trailer a 9. I'm just so excited to
Yep.
see it. Some new Star Trek, so I'm really psyched. And speaking of, did you guys see that Tim Russ is going to be back in Spaceballs 2, and he still ain't found shit? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
He's going to be
I
doing
wish I had known
the
that when I
thing.
met him at that convention last month. I would have asked him.
Yeah, there's a picture on his Instagram page. Only he's wearing a black uniform instead of white, and the desert is littered with remnants from other sci-fi movies.
Oh, that's
And he's
hilarious.
combing the desert, and he still ain't found shit, but he finds something else instead. So I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah,
I
nice
just had to
guy.
throw that
Nice
out there.
guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Starfleet Academy, uh, January 15th is going to be a double episode premiere. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll have to check that out. Well, guys, it looks like we're going to have to bump our news up just a little bit here. That's okay. And we filled up the 2 hours. It's done. Can you believe it?
Time flies.
Fun,
Yeah.
fun, fun, fun. So I'm most excellent host, Uncle Jim, saying that everybody, please stay safe and be good to each other. And next week we're going to be talking about the episode that V already listened to.
Hey,
Star
I'll
Trek
be prepared. I have my notes. I
episode
have my
4.
notes for next week.
She's got our notes all prepared, and we already have our news stories for you guys because we didn't get around to them this week. So that's cool. And Paul will be back with us next week as well. So I want to say thank you to everybody for listening and have a good night. And like I said, be good to each other.
Yep.
Hailing frequencies are closed. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Live long and prosper.
Bye, all.
All stations, ready for departure, sir. Some problem, Riker?
Just hoping this isn't the usual way our missions will go, sir.
Oh, no, number one. I'm sure most will be much more interesting. Let's see what's out there. Engage.
All right.
And that's it. We are off